This is an advanced English lesson looking at phrasal verbs and looking at phrasal verbs with the verb come. 30 phrasal verbs, 2 and 3 parts. So let's get started. The first one is come about. Come about. Now, we can ask a question. How did that come about? Means how did that happen, or when did that arise? How did that come about? So if you have a problem in the office and a customer is complaining about something, your boss might ask you, well, how did that come about? Meaning, why is the client or the customer complaining? What happened to put him in a position that he had to complain? So how did that come about? Meaning, how did it arise or how did it happen? Number 2, to come across. When we come across something, we usually find it by accident. We didn't set out to look for it, but we do find it. So, for example, if you go to a car boot sale, which people love to go to, or you go to one of these markets or fairs, you're just looking around, walking around, and suddenly at the corner of your eye, you see something really interesting on one of the tables, and you see it, and the price is really good, a little gold medallion or a watch or a necklace or a ring, and it's got a really generous price on it, so you buy it. So when you go home to your friend, you say, look what I came across in the market. Wow, it's beautiful. Yeah, and it only cost me €10. So to come across something means to find something accidentally, but you didn't set out to look for it in the first place. Okay, to come across. Number 3, to come after. Well, we can come after somebody, okay, someone's coming after me, I'm running down the street and there's somebody 100 meters behind shouting and screaming, stop, stop, stop. They are coming after me, okay, perhaps it's a gang or perhaps it's a thief or perhaps it's somebody else trying to catch you. They're coming after you. In another way, we can also use come after when something follows something else. The news will come after this program, or the news will come after this announcement that is coming from the government. So if the government are making a very important announcement, they interrupt the programs and they will say normal programs will come after this announcement, meaning they will follow this announcement. To come after. Number 4, come along. Okay, so this often is a request or an order. We will give somebody, come along with me. Okay, so the teacher might say to the disobedient student, you'll have to come along with me to the principal's office and explain why you haven't done your homework for the last 3 days. Okay, come along to the party. That's just a general invitation. Come along whenever you like. Come along at 7 or 8 or 9. It's an open house. Whenever you're ready, you just come and we will welcome you. So come along. Yeah, come along anytime, meaning anytime that you wish. Our house or door is always open, particularly for the party. So to come along. Number 5, come apart. Now, when something comes apart, it usually breaks up in small pieces. So you buy your nephew or your niece some, what you think, nice little present for their birthday, and when they're playing with it, it breaks. And so it comes apart. And so the poor niece or nephew are in tears that the present from their favorite aunt didn't actually work out that way. So you're horrified. So you take it back to the shop the next day and say, look at this. Only 5 minutes they were playing with it and it came apart in pieces. And I didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. I think it needs to be replaced. And they say, of course, madam, we will replace it immediately. So when something comes apart, it breaks up or splits into different pieces. Come round. Number 6, come round. Well, you can use this as, again, a general invitation. So perhaps somebody new has moved into your area, okay, and you say, oh, look, it's nice to meet you. Why don't you come round for a cup of tea? So it's a nice way to invite somebody to your home. Come round, to invite. Or you say, yeah, I'll come round later, but I have to wait until my husband comes home from work so he can look after the kids. I'll come round in a few minutes. Or if you're passing by your mother's or your parents' house on the way home from work and you give them a call on the phone, when the car is stationary, of course, I'll come round in about 15 minutes. I'm just on my way home from work, but I'll drop in to see you. I'll come round and we'll have a cup of tea and you can tell me all of the problems. So to come round. Number 7, come at. When somebody comes at you, it's usually with the intention of attacking you. So he came at me with this knife and I had to protect myself and put my hands up to my face. Or he came at the police officer with a big stick during the protest. So when somebody has the intention deliberately of attacking you, they come at you with some weapon, a rifle, a gun, a knife, a stick, a brick, a bottle, whatever it might be. But the intention is to hurt and cause physical damage. So to come at somebody, and they usually come at somebody with something. Number 8, come before. Now, when something comes before, it usually means that it is more important than something else, okay? So to come before, yeah? So the principal or the director comes before everybody else in the organization, meaning he's the head of the organization and he's considered to me more important than the others, yes? Or perhaps when we talk about meal times, the starter comes before the main course, which comes before the dessert. So that's the order in which things appear. First course meaning the starter, the main course meaning the main dish, and then finally, if you're lucky, you get a dessert or the third course. So to come before something means the order of importance. Number 9, to come between. Well, when we come between people, it means we get in the middle of some row. Never come between a husband and wife who are having an argument. It means don't take sides. So if your two best friends who are married are having a bit of a fight or an argument, best to sit out, not to take sides, because you're going to end up in the bad place. Yeah, you're going to end up on the naughty step because you'll have sided with him or her and the other person is going to be very upset. So never come between two people who are having an argument. Or indeed, if you've got a pet dog, never come between your dog and his bowl of food, because he might be nice and friendly when you're playing with him, but if you don't let him get his food, you might become a little bit angry and aggressive. So don't come between the dog and his daily meal. Okay, so to get in the middle or to stop or prevent somebody from getting something. Okay, to come between. And number 10, to come by something. So we ask a question, how did you come by that? And to come by means, how did you get it? Where did you get it from? So you're showing your friend this beautiful necklace that you have, or this pendant that you bought, or this beautiful gold or silver ring. And they say, oh, wow, that's really, really beautiful. How did you come by that? Meaning, how did you get it? Well, I was in that market, or I was in that car boot sale that I went to last Saturday or Sunday and you weren't available. And there's some really interesting things, but this just caught my eye. It's really beautiful. I'm not so sure how much it's really worth, but I only paid €10 for it, yeah? So how did you come by something means how did you get it? How did you acquire it? Okay, so just remember that. Come by, acquire, or get. Okay, so you're still with me then. We're on to number 11. So as I said, we've got 30 of these in total, all phrasal verbs with the verb come. So number 11 is to come down on, come down on. And this is all about punishment. To come down on is when somebody gets punished severely, okay? So perhaps the courts or the judges sitting in the courts come down on those people involved in drug trafficking or people trafficking, or indeed they may come down on those people involved in antisocial behavior like drinking in the streets or drinking in the parks or annoying the elderly. So to come down on somebody means to criticize heavily or to punish heavily for something that they have done. So that's number 11, to come down on. Number 12 is another 3-part verb, okay, and this is come down to. So very different meaning, come down to. So when we use come down to, it means it ends up that way eventually. So when we talk about arguments, what the government are doing, or what local developers are doing, why they're doing this, why they are building that, why are they changing laws, somebody might say, well, look, it all comes down to money in the end. So meaning money is the root of all evil. It comes down to money in the end. You could be negotiating with your boss for an increase in some payment or to get some bonuses for the staff on your team, whatever it might be, and your boss say, well, you've got really good conditions here, we give you free food in the canteen and all these other extras. Yeah, that's fine, but it all comes down to money in the end. These guys want extra money in their pocket because they've got to pay extra grocery expenses because of inflation, whatever it might be. But it all comes down to money in the end, meaning finally, whatever you decide, whatever you think, at the end of the day, it's a question of money, to come down to something. Okay, next, to come down with. Again, another 3-part phrasal verb here, to come down with something. Usually we use this when somebody becomes ill. So to come down with the flu means to be sick with the flu. To come down with a toothache means to have a bad tooth. To come down with a sore back means you have a sore back. So if you can't make it into the office and you have to send a text or an email to somebody, look, I'm really sorry, can't make it today. I've come down with food poisoning. I ate some chicken yesterday. Obviously, it wasn't good. I've come down with the flu over the weekend. I'm not going to be able to make it into work on Monday. I've come down with a terrible headache and toothache. I'm going to have to go to the doctors. I'll try to get into the office by lunchtime. So to come down with something means to fall ill with something. Toothache, headache, stomachache, flu, whatever it might be, to come down with. Number 14 is to come forward, okay? To come forward. Usually when somebody comes forward, it's usually to help. Yeah. So police investigations, they often ask the public to come forward with any information they have that might help their investigation. So if there's been an accident on the road or some problem, they might ask other motorists to come forward with some of these webcam photos that they might have had, or dash cams that they've had on the dashboard of their car, to come forward with the information. Or somebody came forward with some very helpful information at the last meeting we were able to explain the situation quite easily. So when somebody comes forward, it's usually to offer help or to provide some information. Come forward. Number 15, come into. If you come into something, it means you gain something. A sum of money, a property, stocks and shares. So often when we say somebody has come into something, it means that they have inherited something in a will from an aunt, an uncle, a grandmother, a godmother, or a mother and father. So when somebody dies, they usually have a will, and in the will, they will organize their estate, their assets, and decide who gets what. So if you come into a little sum of money, then you've inherited something from that relation or friend when they have died, okay? So you get a letter in the post, you don't recognize the writing, but it's from a legal firm, and you turn to your partner and say, wow, you never guess what? I've come into a little bit of money. What do you mean? Well, my old Uncle Albert, the guy I mentioned, he died and he left me €2,000. Woo, that's really, really generous. So we can get that extension done. Yeah. So to come into a bit of money, come into a fortune, come into a small fortune, some form of an inheritance. Number 16, come on with. Okay, to come on with means to develop or to progress. He's coming on well with his English. So if you've been taking English lessons and if you're making some improvement, or your teacher tells you that you're improving well with those verbs and adjectives, or you're improving well with your conversational skills, but you need to focus a little bit on this, then you have come on well with your progress. You've come on well with your English progress. You've come on well with whatever you are studying. So to come on with means to develop or to improve or to progress. So you go to the school to talk to the teacher, and the teacher says, yeah, he's coming on well with everything. Most of the subjects are really, really good. He just has to be a little bit more attentive in class, to come on well with something. So on to number 17. Number 17 is to come off. Now this can be just a very simple explanation. Come off means when something falls off or breaks off, okay? So if you're trying to open the door and you pull the door handle a little bit too firmly, it might come off in your hand. Oh my God, how am I going to get out of this room? The door handle has come off. So you, in a panic, you send a text to somebody, come and rescue me, the door handle has come off in my hand as I try to open the door. Or you try to open the window and the handle of the window comes off. Or sometimes you're trying to open the window in the car, the old-fashioned cars, and you had one of these roll-up handles, and they often, in the old cars, would come off in your hand. So when something comes off, it breaks off or it falls off. So the handle came off in my hand, or the top of the kettle came off in my hand when I was trying to fill the kettle to make a cup of tea. So usually some accident happens that means that something just falls apart. Probably it's broken, or a screw dropped out, or it's just old. Come off. Number 18, to come out with. To come out with. Usually this refers to somebody's speech when they say something unexpected or something that somebody might not like, okay? He just came out with this accusation. I was sitting there and all of a sudden he accused me of taking his mobile phone. I hadn't taken his mobile phone. I didn't even see it there. So he just came out with this. Or perhaps when you're looking after your kids, maybe you're looking after your niece or nephew and they start using their first words. Wow, it was so funny. He just came out with my name. I wasn't expecting him to call me Mike. Yeah, he just came out, Mike. Yeah. So to come out with something means unexpectedly, suddenly, something that you heard, either positively, like the first words of a child, or something negative when somebody comes out with some accusation or something quite ridiculous. Yes, to come out with. Number 19, come over. Well, we had before come round, and come over is very similar. Yeah, so you might be on the mobile phone or texting your friend. Why don't you come over for dinner next week and we'll have a good chat? We haven't had a sit down and caught up with each other for such a long time. So why don't you come over, bring your partner, bring your other half or your better half, whatever way you express it. But why don't you come over, let's say Thursday or Friday of next week? There's a holiday weekend, so it'll be a good time to catch up. So to come over means to visit somebody, okay? So it's usually by invitation, somebody asking you to come over. Or you can ask somebody else, do you want me to come over and help you fix that handle on the door? Do you want me to come over and help you to paint the room? Do you want me to come over and help you shovel the snow off your driveway if you can't get the car out? So all of those sort of things will be offers of help and assistance where you will offer to go and help your friend or family member with some issue that they have. So to come over. Yeah, okay? So next, to come over to. Now here is one of those 3-part verbs that is very, very different than the previous one. The previous one, number 19, we had come over, means to visit. Now we have come over to, nothing to do with visiting. So when somebody comes over to, it means they change their position, change their mind, change their opinion, change their support. Okay, so if you have a particular point of view, you're making some argument, and then a friend says, yeah, I think you're actually right. So they come over to your side, meaning they now begin to support your side of the argument. And you look around the room and ask, is there anybody else willing to come over to my side, somebody willing to support me because I really think I'm right in this particular situation? So when somebody comes over to someone or comes over to something, it's all about changing their position or their opinion or their support for somebody or something, okay? So when the government is putting forward some proposals, some suggestions, then they may be looking for some support from members of the opposition in government, and they're hoping for them to come over to their side of the house or the chamber or the government rooms to support them in their initiative or their proposals, to come over to. Okay, so it's all about changing opinion, changing views, changing sides. Number 21. To come through.
They are still coming through.
come through, that we can use this in a few different ways. Come through is about getting through some problem, okay? So he has come through a very difficult time in his life. Perhaps he had lost a couple of jobs. Perhaps he had been unemployed for a while. Perhaps he was having difficulties financially, but he finally came through these. He got a job, well paid, got back on his feet, was able to pay off his debts, and after a period of time began to enjoy life again. So he really came through that particular problem. So it means to get through or to recover from a particularly bad situation in his life. You can come through an operation, okay? So if you go into hospital for some type of operation and the doctor says, well, look, he's been heavily sedated for 7 or 8 hours, he should come through in an hour or so, meaning he will become awake. He might not be completely awake, but he'll begin to recover very, very slowly. So he'll come through, and I think he's going to make a full recovery. So to come through. Okay, guys, so we're getting through these quite quickly. Hope you're enjoying those, and we're on to just finished number 21, so now moving on to number 22, so 9 to go. Number 22 is to come together. And that can be a very simple situation. To come together is to meet up. So we're coming together next week to discuss these plans. So somebody's organized a meeting and we're going to come together. We'll come together as a group and we'll share our views, our opinions, and then we'll make our decisions. So to come together. Okay, so that means about people meeting with each other to discuss something of common interest, or it could be even just to celebrate a birthday or a wedding, whatever it might be. Okay, now come together can also be used when things work out well. It's great. Everything has come together at last, meaning all the little parts have fitted together. We've got the marketing plan. We've got the design right. We've got the deadline and date set out for the launch. We've got all the salespeople trained. It has all finally come together. We really put in a lot of work, but at last it's there. So when something comes together, it's all fitting the way you want it. Everything going according to plan. Okay, so to come together. Number 23, to come under. Now, when we talk about to come under, it's usually to do with some pressure. Somebody's trying to get you to do something. Somebody's trying to get you to change your opinion, yes? So he's coming under a lot of pressure from his father to drop out of this course because his results have been really bad. He doesn't really want to change. He actually likes it, but he's finding it a bit of a struggle. So he's coming under pressure from his father to drop out and change his particular course. Or you could come under a lot of pressure from the local council that they want you to sell part of your garden to make way for the new motorway. You might not want to lose part of your garden because you like the garden, but the council are putting huge pressure on you and you're coming under pressure every week or every month. So to come under pressure means sustained pressure, somebody trying to get you to change your mind, to change your opinion, or to do what you want them to do. Governments often come under pressure from the people who have voted for them. So they come into power on the basis that they're going to change this, change that, and do this and do that, and they never get anything done. So the people start complaining, they start demonstrating, they start writing letters to newspapers, posting articles on the internet. So this brings about a situation where the government come under pressure from all interested parties, and they have to take that into account, and perhaps they may back off, or perhaps they may change their mind. So to usually come under pressure. Number 24 is to come up. When something comes up, it usually arises suddenly without notice or without us expecting it, okay? So perhaps we've got an appointment with our boss, perhaps we've got an appointment with our friend for lunch, perhaps we're going to have a game of squash, whatever it might be, but at the last minute, something happens. So we call our friend, or we send an email, or we make our apologies to the boss and say, look, I'm really, really sorry. Can we postpone our game of squash? Can we put back that lunch? Can I make the meeting at another time because something urgent has come up? So when something comes up, it arises quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and you have to change your plans. Something can come up at the last minute, so you often use it in an expression like that. Something came up at the last minute, and I'm really sorry I couldn't make the party. I couldn't even call you because I didn't have my mobile phone. Everything happened so quickly. Now, again, we have another 3-part phrasal verb, and this is come up against. So the last one was come up, so something arises. Come up against, totally different meaning. So you can come up against problems. You can come up against some protest. You can come up against some opposition, something that's going to block you. Okay, so if you're trying to get elected to your local council because you feel you want to participate and you can contribute to local politics, but you come up against a brick wall when you're trying to get nominated. The rules say that you have to be nominated by 20 existing council members, and you've only got 5 or 6 that even know you or are willing to support you. So you come up against some opposition, okay? Or you're trying to get promoted in the office and you come up against some stubborn resistance by your boss who's trying to tell you why he doesn't think it's a good idea, because he really doesn't want to lose you, because if you get promoted, you're going to go to another division and he's not so happy about it. So you come up against some resistance in the shape of your boss who doesn't really want to support your push for a promotion. So when you come up against something, you get some resistance. There is opposition to what you want to say or opposition to what you want to do. Come up against. Number 26, another 3-part phrasal verb, come up for. Okay, now when something comes up for, it usually means it's time to be renewed. So perhaps if you're living in rented accommodation and your lease was a 3-year lease and you've been there 2 years and 9 months, then the lease will come up for renewal in a few months, and you'll get a letter or a notice or a call from the agent or the landlord asking you, do you want to renew the lease for a further period of 3 years? So your lease came up for renewal, or perhaps your position came up for renewal in the office. Maybe you're only on a 6 months temporary contract, and at the end of the 6 months, it has to be renewed by the boss. So you have to go in and have a bit of a chat. Do they want you? Do they want to keep you? Or are they going to make it permanent? And the boss might say, well, look, your position here is coming up for discussion again in a couple of weeks, but I'd just like to tell you that we're really happy with you and we're happy to continue the contract for a further 6 months. So to come up for discussion, to come up for renewal means something has to happen, something has to change, to come up for. Number 27, come up to. Okay, well, we can use this when we talk about people's height. So if you have a son or daughter, and as they are getting a little bit older, from age of 6 or 7, they're always interested in how tall they are. Where do they come up to when they stand beside you? They come up to your knee when they're 2 or 3. They come up to your hip when they're 6 or 7. They come up to your elbow when they're 9 or 10, and then when they're 17 or 18, they come up to or way above you. So when they come up to, that's how you measure them. Where are they? Are they at your level of your elbow or the level of your shoulder? They come up to. So you say, oh wow, look at him, look at David. He's really grown in the last 12 months. He now comes up to your shoulder. I swear a few months ago, he didn't even come up to your elbow. So the kids are growing really, really quickly. Come up to. Number 28, to come up with. To come up with means to either invent or discover or suggest. So I'd like you all to come up with some bright ideas for the party. We don't want to do the same thing every year. Every year we go to the hotel. Every year we have some drinks. Every year we have some food. So now is the time to plan in advance. And I'd like you all to come up with some fresh ideas. So to come up with means to introduce or suggest or put forward some ideas about changing the decoration, changing the Christmas party, changing the marketing plan, whatever it happens to be. When we come up with something, it's something new, something to change from the old ways to new ways to come up with. Who came up with that idea? So you could use it in a little bit of exasperation. You're with your friends in the coffee shop, 6 or 7 of them, and you get in late and they're all saying, we're all off for a game of crazy golf. Well, who came up with that idea? It's raining outside. Who came up with that idea? Who came up with that suggestion? Number 29. Now, I've only got 2 to go. 29. Come upon. This is a little bit more formal. Okay, the phrasal verbs generally are informal, and come upon slightly more formal. I came upon this when I was out shopping. I came upon my friend unexpectedly. So to come upon something is a little bit like come across. Yeah. So I came across it when I was walking around the car boot sale. I came upon them by surprise. So again, it means something unexpected and something surprising. It may not be a good surprise. Yeah. Okay. So the police came upon the robber as he was trying to break into the house. They noticed something funny. They heard the sound of breaking glass. And when they went to investigate, lo and behold, there was this guy climbing through the window. So to come upon something means to discover or find, but you weren't expecting it. It wasn't something that you had planned to come upon. And then finally, number 30, okay? Number 30, come with, okay? Now, did you ever buy a packet of something? Like, I don't smoke, but you might buy a packet of cigarettes, and every packet of cigarettes comes with a health warning, okay? So to come with means to be accompanied by, or you see printed, in this case on the box, a very strong health warning. Smoking can kill. Smoking can cause cancer. This is the health warning that every packet of cigarettes comes with, okay? Or if you're buying something in the shop, for example, a game for the kids, it comes with batteries. So when you look at the box, it says, here's the game, and here's the bits and pieces of the board, the little tokens you need, the dice, but this also comes with 2A1 or 2A2 batteries included. It comes with. So you get all of the accessories. So to come with means to be accompanied by or to be included. Okay, to come with. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, 30 of these phrasal verbs, and it's phrasal verb with the verb come, and we've got some of them as 2-part phrasal verbs, others as 3-part phrasal verbs. No real difference, only one extra preposition, but be very careful when you have 2, like come up and come up with. Totally different meanings. So be very, very careful when you have a 2-part and a 3-part phrasal verb. You might think they're the same, but they have a very, very different meaning. And you know the drill by now. You have to practice these. You've got to take a few of them. Try to write sentences. Try to think up your own ideas. As always, come back to me and I'll give you some additional help. So this is Harry thanking you for watching, for listening. As always, remember to join me for the next lesson.